Welcome back to the program. Glad to be with you on the Lars Larson Show. Glad to get your calls to at 866-HEY-LARS. That's 866-439-5277. Emails, go to talk@larslarson.com. And Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rodgers, who represents Eastern Washington, joins us now. Congresswoman, good to have you back on the program.
Great to be with you.
There are so many things to talk about, but I want to get right to your pet issue, and that is the ABLE Act. Well, listen,
yes.
I like the idea, but I'm not sure I like the idea of expanding the welfare state in this case. But
this is not. This is a conservative solution to meeting a need that many individuals, families who have children with disabilities can use, and it's not any different than 529 accounts saving money for education, higher education down the road, tax-free, or an IRA for retirement. It allows someone who has a child with disabilities to set money aside, a tax-free savings account, where this child could accumulate some assets, and then use that for qualified expenses like transportation or housing, rather than being dependent upon the government program for that. It is encouraging independence and responsibility.
And if I understand the count right, well, let's have you describe exactly how this would work. You've mentioned an account. People think of IRA accounts, 401ks, 529s, college savings accounts. How exactly would this work for a disabled child? And this is for disabled children only, right?
Right. It's for children who have disabilities. If they meet the qualifications, then this account can be set up. Money can be put into account. There's no limit as to how much they can be set aside each year. They can accumulate that, and then they can use that money for qualified expenses, and those are also listed very clearly in the legislation.
And you have, if I count it right, almost 400 co-sponsors in the House?
That is true. This is legislation that was introduced in 2006. It has taken many years to build the support, build the co-sponsors. We have 380 now in the House co-sponsors of this legislation, 74 in the Senate. It's bipartisan. It's bicameral. But as a mom who has a son with Down syndrome, this is what I experienced. And when he was born, we were told not just of the diagnosis and some of the challenges that we would face or he potentially could face, but we were also told, don't put any assets in his name. You know what? And that's the wrong message to send a new parent who is excited and ready to not just save but sacrifice for this child so that they can have an opportunity for a better life. But yet for so many children with disabilities, their parents are told otherwise. They're told this child is going to be on government programs and basically is going to be living in poverty for the rest of their life.
Well, and you have the concern, I don't want to be indelicate, Congresswoman, but you have the concern that when you and your husband are gone, how does your child get taken care of as a child with Down syndrome?
Sure. And I don't believe that he should have to live a life of poverty just because he does have a certain disability. And that's where I believe this legislation takes a first step in really empowering individuals, families, in a way that is going to open up new opportunities, not just for independent living, but working and being more self-sufficient, which is and focusing on what someone has to offer. And that's what we need to be doing.
Now, let me ask you, you said there is a limit or there is no limit on what you can put into the account on behalf of the disabled person? Could you, for example...
There is a limit.
Could you say when I pass, I can leave the rest of my estate to my child?
The limit is up to... I believe it's $17,000 in any given year.
Wow, that's really not a lot, though, when you talk about supporting an adult who's disabled, right?
Right, and then the maximum lifetime limit is $100,000.
Now, any reason why the limits are I mean, because if you said to me, and again, about your child, if you wanted to put away an amount of money to make sure that your child could be comfortable for the rest of his or her life as a Down syndrome child, how much money? I mean, I'd have to imagine it would have to be hundreds of thousands or maybe even millions of dollars.
This is a step. This is a step in the right direction, in my opinion. Part of the challenge with a tax-free savings account is that this is money. This is an incentive for people to take this action, and so if they're not paying taxes on it, then that's less revenue to the federal government. So that's where you run into these limits.
So even when it comes to disabled kids, the Treasury wants to come first.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. They just sound like they are the Snidely Whiplash of modern society. So tell me this. Now that you've got 400 co-sponsors, is there any question that it's not going to just fly right through the House and the Senate next year?
Well, nothing is easily done. So this is a great day that the House is taking action. I'm optimistic that the Senate will take action. This has been years in the making, though. This is legislation because of the leadership, both by the coalition of groups on the outside as well as members of Congress in the House and the Senate, that it has gotten to where it is. But you know what? As an encouragement to your listeners, this was an idea that a parent had, a parent who has a daughter with Down syndrome in Virginia, ran up against this issue and approached his representative, and that's where it all started. And so you can make a difference, and I just see this as good conservative solution to real challenges that people face today in America.